The concept of social revolution frequently surfaces in public discourse, often invoked to describe periods of profound societal transformation. Yet its precise meaning remains subject to considerable academic debate and popular misinterpretation. This discussion aims to critically examine the multifaceted nature of social revolution. We will explore its historical antecedents, contemporary manifestations, and the analytical frameworks necessary for its comprehension. Our objective is to move beyond superficial interpretations and engage with the structural dynamics at play. A social revolution, in its most rigorous sociological sense, denotes a rapid, fundamental, and often violent transformation of a society's state structure and class relations. It is distinct from mere political coups or rebellions, which may alter leadership without fundamentally reshaping the social order. Key theorists like Theda Skocpol emphasize the confluence of state breakdown and peasant insurrections as critical components. Such revolutions typically involve mass mobilization, ideological shifts, and a reordering of power dynamics. They are not merely incremental changes, but rather systemic ruptures that redefine the social contract. The outcomes are often irreversible, establishing new institutional paradigms. The question of whether we are currently experiencing a social revolution is complex and contentious. While we may not observe the overt armed conflicts characteristic of historical revolutions, profound structural shifts are undeniable. The digital revolution, for instance, has fundamentally altered communication, economic production, and social interaction. This technological metamorphosis has catalyzed new forms of collective action and challenged traditional hierarchies. However, whether these changes constitute a revolution in the classical sense, involving a complete overthrow of the state and class system, remains a subject of ongoing academic inquiry. We must differentiate between significant societal evolution and revolutionary upheaval. Many perceive the contemporary world as inherently more social, largely due to the pervasive influence of digital platforms. Social media, in particular, facilitates unprecedented levels of connectivity and information exchange. This perception, however, warrants critical scrutiny. While digital networks enable broader reach and instantaneous communication, they do not necessarily equate to deeper social cohesion or genuine community formation. The nature of these interactions can be superficial, performative, and even atomizing. We must distinguish between networked interaction and substantive social capital. Quantifying social activity and assessing revolutionary potential requires robust sociological methodologies. Metrics might include rates of civic engagement, protest participation, shifts in public opinion, and the diffusion of new ideologies. Analyzing network structures and information flows within digital spaces also provides valuable data. However, the qualitative dimensions of social change, such as shifts in cultural norms and values, are equally crucial. Longitudinal studies and comparative historical analysis are indispensable for discerning patterns of transformation. A holistic approach integrates both quantitative and qualitative indicators. Historically, social revolutions have often been associated with charismatic leaders or vanguard parties. However, contemporary movements frequently exhibit more decentralized, networked forms of leadership. The Arab Spring uprisings, for example, demonstrated the power of leaderless or distributed collective action. This shift challenges traditional notions of revolutionary agency highlighting the role of grassroots mobilization and emergent properties. While formal leadership may be less visible, the coordination and ideological coherence necessary for sustained change remain paramount. The responsibility for leading a social revolution is increasingly diffuse. The genesis of social revolutions is rarely attributable to a single cause. Rather, it emerges from a confluence of structural contradictions and precipitating factors: economic inequality, political repression, and a perceived crisis of legitimacy often create fertile ground for discontent. The state's inability to address these grievances is a critical antecedent. External shocks, such as economic downturns or military defeats, can act as catalysts, exacerbating existing tensions. The interplay between objective conditions and subjective grievances, often articulated through new ideologies, fuels revolutionary processes. Understanding these underlying conditions is crucial for predictive analysis.